And I'll toss it to you, Kristen, when we get to that point, like we always do. And off we go. Here we go, everyone. Off to the races. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, listeners and viewers, and welcome to There Will Be Dungeons at therewillbedungeons.com. It's D&D time. We're going to play, and you're going to play with us. Welcome back, and thanks for being here. Before we get going too far into things, a reminder that our crew is me, Scott Johnson, Bo Schwartz, John Jagger, Kristen Ashton, and of course Kyle Ferguson bringing up the rear. Or the front. He usually goes in first. I don't know. Just depends on how we roll. Get it? Because we roll dice. Anyway, hey, let's get right to it. We got a big show ahead of us, a lot to discuss and talk about, and all kinds of places to go. But we can't do it until we find out what happened last time on There Will Be Dungeons. Kristen?
Last time on There Will Be Dungeons, the Loxodon led them on a leisurely lap through the levitator. Manned by many men, it was ready to roll, but before they beat it, the Mind Master made a move, aiding Varel with an amulet that was assessed to escalate essence. Already heavily healthy, the trinket was trusted to Nash. Now there was no time to tarry. The ship was in shape and crew crafty. Through a chute they shot at a perilous portal. In a second they saw they were surrounded by sky. The captain called it the Outlands. Below they could conceive colors and contortions of a curious continent, but what caught their concern was a tower tall enough to finish in firmament. Surrounding it, Gehennian guards gave gory gashes, battling to break the barrier, for inside was interred the glove the team guaranteed a gangster to get. They met with the matron in her main mess. She shared tea while trying to tempt out tales about who they were and where they were wandering, but the break broke with a cacophonous clatter. The ship was surrounded by hellhounds and wily wyverns. Battle beginning, they took to their places. Nash dared no delay darting into dragon form, while Varel, Stanley, and Hope assaulted adjacent assassins. 2 wyverns fell fast as a third bounded into the boat's bowels, Varel hot on its heels. The forward fight was fierce, but as soon as it seemed that scum would be scraped from the decks, Hope's footing failed, and fast she fell from the freighter. Nash noticed her knock and dove, careening quickly to catch her. Stanley suddenly stood solo, surrounded by snarling scowls, and daringly dispatched them with perfect precision. Down below, Varel whittled the wyvern, saving several gnomes from a nasty nemesis. Bad guys bested. Something was still strange. Looking at the Loxodon, they saw the ship was sinking, with only mere moments for them to muster a means to make off. Now rejoin our heroes as they try to contain the casualties of a dying dispatch. Will the captain concede to crumble with her craft? Can the gnomes be rescued after such remarkable resistance? And which NPC will try to seduce Stanley next? Stay tuned for today's adventure through the high heights and singular sights of the Outlands.
Well done as always. Okay, Bo. It's yours.
All right, so we resume our story high in the skies above the Outland. There's an airship, and it is descending low and about 20 degrees from flat as it begins careening down a trail of jet black smoke pouring forth from an engine inside the airship. Nash, Vorel, Stanley, and Hope are standing atop the deck of the Traveler's Twin, holding onto the railing for dear life. As you run up to the side and look over, you see the terrain below, dotted with columns of a demonic army, torches lit everywhere on the ground below, looking charred and black and brown, except for one edifice, a large white tower. A large figure hunkers up next to you by the railing and says, "Arr! Looks like you'll be shipping out early," says Captain Bjart from the side. "Ahoy, mateys! Get your pants on straight and get this ship in working order," she yells out to the gnomes who are scrambling upon the deck. You know that the time is nigh as you see the white tower slowly approach to a spot where you'll be directly above it in the ship. You have maybe a few moments.
Nash, get your scrolls ready. Well, actually, Nash is still a dragon, right?
Oh yeah, I am. I'm totally
He
still a
doesn't
dragon.
really need to teleport. People could just.
Oh, he
ride
looks a little
down on
ridiculous.
him.
He looks a little ridiculous having run up to the railing to peer over with everyone else. There's like 3 humanoids and a giant dragon also peering over and looking down.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna change. I don't change for nobody unless I have to.
Wait, I run to the room we were in where I dropped the barrel. The keg.
Mm-hmm. Captain Yart's quarters.
Yes.
It's difficult terrain, so it takes a little longer, but you're a fit person. You want to collect your beer? Is that what's going on?
Correct. I have 2 barrels that haven't spilled.
Okay, so Varel quickly disappears and returns with 2 barrels under his arm.
While he's grabbing that, I'll turn to the captain. Captain, what is the situation here? Are you going to be able to recover this thing?
There's no time for that. Have I given you the sending stone yet?
You have.
Then I'll be sure to contact you when we get this ship righted.
Very well.
And if we don't get it righted, you won't be hearing from me. Arr.
Well, we will hope for the best then.
You'll hear from me in about 4 hours. And if you don't hear from me in 4 hours, then you're on your own.
Varel, you might want to leave those kegs here.
But there could be angels inside the tower. That's where they'd be.
Are you
I
going to
have a
get them drunk?
feeling The people here are going to need them more than you, Varel.
Okay.
And we'll be back. This will make sure we come back.
As you say that, the mast behind you cracks and flies off. It flips up into the air, and then it takes 3 or 4 gnomes with it. And you're, no! No!
See, nothing that they can't fix.
Captain?
Captain, we're under attack!
Alright, so how are we doing this?
Well, if Nash is going to stay a dragon, I mean, he can still use magic while in his dragon form. You could still theoretically teleport down there. You know what? You're not going to be able to go in as a dragon anyway. You're going to need to change, Nash.
Oh. Are you sure there's nothing else I need to do? Because I hate change, because it's a pain. I mean, it's just, we should use it as long as we could need it. So is there anything else you need?
We're less likely to be seen as 4 little individuals falling towards the tower than a giant dragon flying towards it. Plus, we're going to have to go inside. So drop it.
All right. And I'll become human.
All right, you become human once again. And you're now sitting upon the deck, and the ship is slowly falling to the ground.
All right, Nash, we each take one of the others. Teleport inside the tower.
Okay. Who do you want to take?
I'll prepare my scroll, and I'll go wait by the side of the ship.
So to be clear, these are scrolls of teleportation.
Dimension door.
Dimension door. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, which I used to have as a thing. I don't have as a built-in thing anymore.
Okay. Well, it might be worth taking a quick look. But continue on. I'm going to look up something while you guys are deciding how to proceed.
Alright, I'm standing on the edge, marking, hold out my hand, either Hope or Varel.
Hope will take Stanley's hand and give a nod to Varel and Nash.
Nice.
Okay, so keep in mind the range for the dimension door is 500 feet.
Dimension door, there it is.
Just be important for your timing. Okay, perfect. So Hope and Stanley get up upon the railing, and the railing buckles a little bit underneath both of you as you guys get your balance. Whenever you're ready.
All right. At the same time, everybody, in case I need to slow a fall if something goes wrong.
So we can step up too, me and Varel.
You can. You'll need to have your scroll ready. You'll be the one teleporting Varel.
Right. I'll have it ready. So Varel, take my hand, and we'll position ourselves near these other two. There's no reason not to do it right away.
Now, Varel, you still have 2 casks of ale?
Oh, we don't have a Varel.
He's in the
He's lost some
darkness.
thought at the moment. Varel sort of
He's thinking
stares
about
off
what
into
he's
the
going to
distance.
do with those 2 casks of ale. Looking at one, then the
He
other.
really doesn't
cask.
like how everyone's making this such a big issue, and there's so much going
Right?
on. You have 2 casks under your arm, right?
I have my hands behind me, if that's what you're asking.
Even better. So you're holding 2 casks of ale behind you,
Yes.
and Nash will need your hand to,
Or can I just touch him?
teleportation.
Can I just touch him? Or
Okay. Well, let me look at the spell. You can bring along objects. You can also bring one willing creature who's carrying gear. It doesn't specify in the spell whether you need to touch them or not, actually. So maybe you don't need to touch them.
I'll hold
It doesn't say.
I'll hold the tip of his tail or something, just to be safe.
But what it does specify is that he must be in 5 feet of you when you cast a spell. So,
okay.
One can imagine free falling in the sky. You may end up more than 5 feet away from each other without anchoring.
Right.
So it is a good precaution to be holding hands. However, it is up to Varel. He is in charge of his own body and mind. So let's.
Fine. I bring around one of the barrels and punch open the top, and just sloppily, a third of it, 2, split in 3, 1 going in my mouth, 2 going down the cheeks.
So
Down that bit.
You're drinking to inebriation?
Yes.
Okay. Let's make a Constitution saving throw, please.
$23.
Okay. Well, you drink, but the effects of the alcohol are diminished due to your ability to metabolize it quickly. So, yeah. All right. So are you taking a hand now that you've
Yes,
drank
I have
that?
1 barrel under the arm, 1 hand on Nash.
Okay, perfect. And you guys both walk up to the railing, and you look below, and you see an endless legion. Some sort of dark figures in an army, torches burning yellow and green, and the White Tower standing out directly underneath the Traveler's Twin. It's now or never.
All right. I jump.
All right, and how do you jump? What's the, do you spread out like a bird? Do you just do cannonball style?
We're trying to go pretty quick to not be noticed that we're going into the tower, so I imagine we're just arrowing straight down for the most part, but probably shift that a little bit so I can read the scroll.
Perfect. So
Before
you maybe move more in a dive motion together,
Yeah.
sort of synchronized dive, you and Hope, as you jump down. Let's get an acrobatics check to see how well the dive was pulled off.
$12.
15.
Okay. It was an acceptable dive, not perfect. The judges from China and Russia both give you an 8, and the US one gives you a 9. And you get a few 7s from some European countries, but who cares about that?
Yeah, they suck.
The dive as well, and Nash and Varel, you see that the dive was executed very nicely. They have a wide berth from the ship, and they begin shooting straight down like a bullet. Nash, are you ready to dive?
I'm ready to dive.
All right. Would you like to dive? Or jump. Doesn't have to be a dive.
Head first. But mind you, I don't know if this will give me any advantage. Probably not. But I'm gonna think about my underwear, and if we need to course correct or slow for any reason, I've got undies that'll help me do that.
That's true. Well, you don't have underwear anymore. You have DNA of underwear in your body.
It's
But
just
yes,
part
you
of me
can.
now. Yeah.
You can actually make adjustments and even break yourself in the air. You could technically bring yourself to a full stop and float at any point.
Right. Except I can't.
It's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Plus, if I'm bearing Varel's weight or holding part of him when I do that, obviously his momentum's going to tear past me, right? Like that's not.
If his weight is greater than your encumbrance, then yes.
Okay.
So that might not be the case. I don't know. How many pounds do you weigh?
Either. Yeah. What do you weigh, Varel?
This is just hypothetical. Are you planning on stopping yourself or no?
No, I'm not planning on it. I just wanted that to be out there if there's a problem, so that we can. I don't know. So we have it in our heads. Yeah. That's the thing I can do.
Well, you could try, but you're not sure what the results will be.
Okay.
I'm 280 pounds.
Let's see.
And what's your strength?
My strength is. Where's my base strength? Because I don't have any modifier for strength.
Top left.
Why is it? Oh, 11. That's not great.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a bit of napkin math here, and we'll see if it works. Yeah, no, you'll keep falling if you hold on to Varel.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm a spindly little man.
All right, so now that we've gotten this awkward math out of the way, you going to jump or no?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, describe how you jump.
Head first, we're going to dive. We're going to dive like, I can't think of it, like a diver would, you know?
All right, so Varel can't dive. He can go head first, but one hand is holding yours, the other hand is holding his barrel, so he's just going to go head first. That means you alone can do the dive flourish. So roll your acrobatics check, please.
All right. Hold on. My roller isn't working. There we go. All right, that's going to be a 14.
Okay, so there's no slipping as you jump from the side of the Traveler's Twin and head straight first down. Now, all four of you have wind whistling in your ears, like as the ground rushes up closer and closer, and you're now in a state of free fall. John and Hope Nash are a little bit ahead of you because you took some time before jumping, but you see them ahead, and you guys are now just descending, free falling through the sky. And as you get closer, you hear the sounds of trumpets coming from below, and you hear like the sounds of explosions as the trebuchets and catapults rifle projectiles at the tower, and the tower is seemingly impervious to damage. So a few seconds goes by and the ground rushes up quicker and quicker. Are there any plans or triggering or anything you want to concoct during these moments before we get to the tower?
I'm just going to have the scroll ready and be ready to pull it out and start reading it and preparing it a little in advance in case there are problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then the goal is to just go through the ceiling.
Okay, so you take out the scroll with your free hand, and the wind immediately like snaps it against your wrist, making it difficult to read because you're falling. I need a sleight of hand check, please, to do this.
14.
Okay, so it almost slips from your grip, but you're able to grip it into your hand, hold it, and you find a good spot for it to push against your wrist as you're able to make out the pertinent paragraphs for casting the spell. Nash,
Yep.
you see ahead of you Stanley's taken out his scroll and has begun to read it.
Okay.
Do you have your scroll out?
I do, and I'll take that as the sign to.
I'll need a sleight of hand throw, please.
Okay.
Ability check.
Okay.
Make sure it doesn't fly from your hand as you descend.
No worries.
It'll be bad if you roll low.
I rolled a 17.
Okay, so you're able to grip it, you clutch it in your hand, it doesn't fly from your hand as you put it in a place along your wrist where you're able to read it, the pertinent passages for casting the spell. The ground rushes up closer and closer. Everyone, the wind is... Does anyone have their mouth open? They might want to do that because you'll get like a hoarse throat from all the wind blowing.
Yeah.
I've done that before. It's terrible. I was in the back of a pickup though, but still, same thing. All right, so you fly down closer and closer to the tower, and Stanley, as you get within range, the 500 feet of range necessary, you kind of have a sense. You look over to the horizon, and you see the Traveler's Twin smoking as it crests the mountain horizon in the background and falls behind it, and you hear and you see sort of a cloud of smoke rise up from behind the mountains.
Oh no.
And you're now within range.
It's not a great sign. All right, gonna wait just a little bit longer, give enough room, because I know that I don't want to teleport into a stone or anything like that, so I want to make sure I give enough room to clear what would theoretically be the ceiling. So I give it a little bit, and then I activate the spell, in time.
Right. It requires only verbal, so all you got to do is say the magic words.
All right.
All right, so you're waiting still?
Waiting.
Okay. Hope you noticed that he's not casting the spell, but the building's getting really close. You have anything to say?
No, I'm gonna trust Stanley.
Okay. Nash, you enter range. You see in the horizon that the ship crashes over the mountains. You're not quite sure what happened, but you see a bad thing. But you're now within range to teleport inside. The tower is very close. The ground is rushing up really fast now.
And I know that I'm in range and that this can happen now. This is as good a time as any.
You have just a sense. You're pretty sure you can feel that you can teleport to a spot inside the tower.
All right, I'm ready to do it. Let's do it.
All right. You notice that Stanley hasn't done it. He's flying closer to the tower.
I mean, I know this spell. I know how long it takes to cast, so I'll cast it now. I'm not gonna push it too much.
Okay. I thought maybe we'd have like a chicken off between the two of you. Who can go the lowest before casting it? But okay.
Who's gonna push it the most? I want the dimension door to literally form on the roof and we fall into it. I don't actually want that. That seems really risky.
Seems
for no
dangerous.
reason other than it would look cool.
You don't want to die.
So you're now, within range to teleport in. You're very close to the ground. These are the final moments you have before being able to do this, or else you're going to hit the ground.
All right, cast it.
Okay, so you cast a spell, and you say that you have any verbal words you'd like to say?
No. Just gonna animate it. Dimension door! Yell exactly what I'm doing.
Alright, so then you go to teleport in. Nash and Varel, you see that Hope and Stanley just wink out of existence. Whoop. Bung.
Okay, all right,
they're gone.
I'm going to go, it's time, and here are the words I read. Here we go without a care. We were once right here, but now we're there. And then, whoop.
Feel the warm embrace of teleportation's magics embrace you instantly, and you go whoop and blink out of existence. And I need Hope alone, please.
Oh, all right.
Headphones off. All right, so just seconds before you have winked into the teleportation spell, something dark happens to you, and you immediately open your eyes, and you find yourself sort of careening across the side of the tower, just going sort of hitting across the side as it pushes you away from the tower. You take 4 points of necrotic damage as you burn yourself on the surface of the tower.
Oh shit, okay.
You have a moment suspended in air along the side of the tower, where the tower sort of pushed you away like a magnet, and you're floating above ground. Is there anything you want to do?
Am I still falling?
You're about to fall. The momentum is somewhat, because you were in the middle of a teleportation, your momentum has reset to 0. And for whatever reason, you're on the outside of the tower, and you've just like shot across the side and sort of bumped along this like electrical fence of the tower that's sort of pushing you out. But like it's all happening so fast, your immediate concern is you're floating maybe 80 feet above the ground at the top of the tower along the side. You are not in the tower.
Okay, so what Hope will do instinctually is she'll pull out her dagger and activate her daggers in her boots and see if she can't kick into the shield somewhere.
Okay, let's make an attack roll, please, against the wall. This is a magical weapon you're using? Yeah, it's the...
Yeah, the +2 dagger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 17.
Okay, so as you fly across the side, you dig in the knife, and you can feel it hook in and cut in, but you also feel it push you out. So you put the knife in, you slow your speed a bit, and then whatever ward is protecting the tower pushes the knife out and hits you in the head, just bunk like that with it. and then you begin falling again.
Shit. Well, Hope's gonna do like the flying squirrel, all 4 limbs out to try and slow the descent,
Okay,
relative
perfect.
as much as possible.
Okay, make an acrobatics check, please.
Oh, natural 20.
Natural. Okay, so you manage to fling yourself into a position that somehow is slowing. You have no idea what you're doing. You're just operating on sheer instinct at this point, but you're moving it so that you're attempting to move in the air in such a way that you can just either slow down or land in a safe position. However, within seconds, the ground rushes up to meet you and you just hit it. So it'll just be a moment.
Okay.
All right, you take 49 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground. And you like basically make an outline in the dirt below. And your bone, like how much HP do you have left after that? Probably you still have a fair amount.
41 out of 94, so about half.
Okay, perfect. So
Less than half.
so you hit the ground and you're basically in an outline of like the rock and dirt. Like you just sort of open your eyes, you look up, you see a little piece of your chipped tooth on the ground, and you were in rough shape. You just fell 8 stories from the top of the tower. You sort of look down and look up, and you see that the tower looms above you, and you notice that there are projectiles being hit on the tower, like there's explosions happening above you. And then as you look up and sort of take in your situation, you hear footsteps behind you.
Judging by the sound, how far away are they?
They're closing in fast. And there are little clickies on the rocks.
I mean, realistically, the wind is going to be knocked out, so Hope's just going to sit there still. She wouldn't try and run away. She doesn't know if anything's broken or what have you.
All right, so through the rocks, climbing up, you notice that there are these dog-like men with large wings and giant like tridents in their hands move up between the rocks to your position, and they go, "What have we here? It looks like reinforcements have failed, perhaps. You there? Who are you?"
Hope will move her eyes first and then move her head to face them. And she'll just look at them. She's still stunned with what happened.
And they approach you with their tridents out. And they say, "Disarm yourself." And one of them reaches out a hand to like take your weapon.
Hope won't stop it. She'll still just lay there.
"Come on, get up."
Okay, at this point, Hope will slowly start to get up. Very slowly, just to make sure everything's okay.
Mm-hmm. And then one of these winged dog-like men look at you and they go, "Arr! Arr! We're going to bring you to General Acarathax. He'll know what to do with you. Get moving." And then you feel the prod of a trident in your back.
Hope will wince a little and get kind of angry, but then remember she's in deep shit, so she'll stay quiet and she'll start walking.
Yeah, so you start walking and you have a dog-like person ahead of you and a dog. And as we make it up, as you make it down the passage, you make your way to what appears to be a riser above the rest of the military ranks and columns. And upon there is a humongous, the size of a house, like large green and white pale being with battle armor and a large spear and green smoldering eyes. And he's pacing around this cauldron, and there are these tents in the area. And as you approach, I mean, you have no doubt this is General Carthax. You get brought up to the riser and brought before this giant lord, and he looks down upon you, and he looks at the guards, and he says, "What have you brought me? What is this mongrel?" And he looks to you and points at a big finger, and he says, "Where do you come from? Who are you?"
I am Queen Orifi Akmenos of Tiet Kala of Earth.
"And what brings you to the White Tower?"
A very long story if you're willing to listen.
"I'm not interested in long stories. As you can see, I'm in the middle of a campaign. So, I ask again, what brings you here from whatever backwater kingdom you say you are queen of?"
The glove.
"You are here for Zorander's fist?"
Yes.
"Who sent you?"
We came from Sigil. It was Tabacho, an ancient blue dragon.
So you're profiteers then? Simply here to make some coin. You don't want the fist for yourself.
I had no need
Mercenary.
for the fist.
Well, it appears one of the dog men who sort of escorted here says, "General, we saw her attempt to enter the tower, but she was rejected by its wards. And she fell to the ground, and we've brought her here for you." "Ah, yes. I thought I detected a kindred spirit here." And then you hear a little, "Excuse me, but you're not the one in charge here, General Carthax." And a small little baby that with wings, gray-skinned, it's like it has an old man head, but a baby's body, with gray little wings, flaps and flies from behind General Carthax. "I believe I know this one. You remember me, yes? Hope Akmenos?"
Yes, from the old science facility.
"Yes, I'm Ulvert, formerly from the UBI. It's a great pleasure to see you again."
You as well.
"I see here that our paths have crossed again. Now, forgive my colleague, General Carthax. The demons of the hells and the demons of the abyss and the devils of the nine hells have joined forces in this campaign, and Carthax sometimes forgets that he is not the one solely in charge." Carthax looks glum and says, "This alliance is temporary, Ulvert. Be that as it may, I'm so glad that we've run into you. She could prove quite useful to us, Carthax." "I don't see how. We should kill her and be done with it." "But no, you misunderstand. She is immortal. And she has come here on a mercenary's mission. She has no vested interest. She could bring the hand to us. Hope, would you be willing to bring the hand to us?"
I can't even get in the tower.
"I recommend saying yes."
If we can find it.
"We can't trust her," says the general. And Ulvert looks back to you, or looks to Carthax and says, "She was rejected by the wards. She is one of us. She is evil, like we are. And she is mortal, giving her access to things that we do not. Here is what I propose. We will change her mind, her alignment, and that way we can send her inside to retrieve the hand for us. Hope, do you agree to this plan?
I don't see any other plan offered.
Yes, and you are evil like us. So you will be doing what destiny has brought you to do, which is to destroy all that is good in the world and let only those who are strongest survive to shred the flesh of those who do not deserve it. Until such time as all living things are dead. And then, well, we're not sure what our plan is after that, but there will be one. An evil one. What do you say?
If I say yes, could you send me back to Earth?
Oh, she wants to make a deal. And Carthax booms out, no. Sorry, what do you mean? DM asking, where do you want to be?
Hope doesn't want to be sent into the future or the past or anything like that. She wants to be.
Okay, so we'll just say Ulvert understood that completely. Okay. So that, yeah, he goes, very well, there will be no tricks. We will send you back to your world intact, just as you left it.
And what about the other three they come with?
Well, they're quite good. I don't know if I want to help them. But if it means your willingness to move forward, then yes, fine, fair enough. Easy, low cost. We can do it. You are
then
too
I'll
generous.
see what I can do.
Well, you better do it. The alternative will be unpleasant. And Carthax looks at you and he goes, we will shred each of your limbs one by one and then regenerate them back together. And then we will rip them off again, and we will do this 1,000 times.
Are you going to fight TWBD for me then?
Carthax gets silent. Ulvert looks to you and says, do not invoke the name of TWBD so freely. We don't want this campaign to end in bluster, if you will.
I would imagine not.
Very well. Are you ready to join your friends?
Send me in.
All right. Well, first we must change your alignment. Sarthax, come. And then from the tents, this female-shaped demon of some kind. You have no idea what it is. Green and brown-skinned, nude, but doesn't have a face. So where the neck is, it just opens up into this large jaw, this like weird mouth, and there's another mouth inside of it, and it just sort of yawns and yaps. But otherwise, physically below, has the appearance of a beautiful woman. Walks from the tent and makes their way across the landing between General Carthax and Ulvert to you. And she just she takes her hand up to her mouth and she whispers some words. And then those whispers become physical as they float upon her hand. And then she goes, whew. And then the whispers float into your face and you can't help but breathe them in as you try to claw at them. They smell horrible. As you try to fight whatever's in your head, then all of a sudden there's just calmness and your alignment changes to lawful good. And you must behave in a lawful good manner. You can still be you. You're not mind controlled. but you must behave in a lawful good manner, or else the effects will drop if you don't, essentially. The one thing as well, and Ulvert will say this, Ulvert looks to you, he says, "You are now like one of them, but not really one of them. Take great care not to show your true beliefs. We will send you to your friends. Yes. And when the time is right and you have the fist, return it to us. Simply behave in a way that is evil, and the tower will reject you and push you out. You understand? Anytime you want to leave, just do something evil. And we will take care of the rest."
And what of my friends? How would I get them out?
I'm afraid that's a limitation on what we have available. That'll be up to you to figure out how to get them out. We have no sway inside that tower. There is a ward that prevents things of evil from passing through it. And until we find a way to the other side, you are our only hope.
Hopple look a little miffed at the joke and then nod that she's ready.
Send her in. And then the strange female being that Blue whispers into your face begins casting another spell, and the mouth says some strange words, and you feel yourself floating, and then whoop, you're out.
All right, so quick question. With lawful good, can I lie? I can't lie, right?
Maybe you can send me these questions privately so I don't answer them.
Oh, because we all have our headphones on.
Okay.
Yeah,
just a random question I was having.
I'll send you a message. Okay. All right. So yeah, I sent you an answer on Slack. All right, everyone, welcome back.
Hello.
From jumping off the top of the Traveler's Twin and descending down, you have successfully made your way inside the building. Blink, 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 blink. Now you teleport into pitch blackness, but you hear voices echoing down the hall. This is for Stanley, Nash, and for Pharrell.
All right. Even with dark vision, I can't see anything. It's that dark.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about your dark vision. Always makes darkness less of a threatening thing. You cut through the darkness with your dark vision. You see that you're in some kind of a storage closet. It's a large one. There's mops and brooms, and you see buckets, all kinds of cleaning supplies.
And we can hear the voices of others.
You hear the voice of others outside the door.
Okay.
There's one door to this room, and it's to the south, and you hear the voices of others in the room.
So it's a fairly big closet. It's got all of us in it.
Yeah. It's not a little broom closet. It's like a big cleaning room, like, maybe 20 by 20 feet. And there's shelves all along the sides, buckets, and like those big brushes that you would get on your hands and knees and scrub the floor with. There's brushes everywhere. It's quiet in this room, but you hear voices carrying from beyond the door.
Can I put my ear to the door and see if I can get a sense if it's directly behind the door or proximity, if it would be safe to try to open, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. And let's get a perception roll from you as you listen beyond the door.
It's going to be a 23.
Jeez.
Okay. So you're able to, you bring your ear up to the door and you listen and you hear, I got 15-2, 15-4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's it. 15 points. You're cheating. No, I'm not. Don't accuse a paladin of cheating. I suppose it's not a good idea. Another round? Yeah, let's do it. And then you hear a voice go, sir. Yes, Walnut. When do you think reinforcements will be arriving? I wouldn't hold out hope for reinforcements. This is our grave. And you hear sort of just a sullen conversation occur after that.
Do I get the impression it's immediately behind the door, or is it carrying from a distance?
It's very close to behind the door. You feel that orientation wise, maybe it's not directly on the other side of the door, but just to the right, but in the same room. Now, as you look back to your team to discuss this information, you notice that through your dark vision, you only see two other shapes. That's Nash and Stanley, or Nash and Varel.
At myself. Here I
Yeah.
am.
Hope is missing from your location.
Okay.
I'm going to notice this and say, Stanley, where's Hope? Quietly.
Did I know she was still holding my hand when I cast the spell, right?
She was still holding your hand when you cast the spell. And when you arrived, you were just a little bit too concerned with the surroundings that you didn't immediately check. You just sort of assumed she would be there. And as you turn around and look, you notice that she's not there.
I don't know, Nash. She was there when I cast it. I don't know where she is.
Shit. Are there any objects on the ground, Bo, in here that I could pick up? Small?
It's a fairly clean ground, actually. It's a well-kept room.
Okay.
You notice that even there's no dirt. You can't even see any dirt anywhere.
There's no, like, furniture.
There's stuff on the shelves, though. There's brushes and mops and brooms and
Okay.
buckets.
Okay, just cleaning closet stuff.
Yeah, you specified the floor, and I'm like, no, the floor's clean. There's lots of objects on the shelves, though.
Is there anything on the shelves that I could, that I would know I could use as a light source that I could light?
Oh, for like light stone or whatever?
Yeah. Does it have to be a stone? I've never
There's
asked.
some bars of soap that you see that are small, but they might slip from your hand. It's not the
Light
best.
soap. I like it.
Light soap's pretty cool.
There's bars of soap. There are brushes. There's like there are drain plugs as well
Ooh.
in the room.
How big are they?
I mean, they're about that, size of a coin.
Okay, I'm taking one of those. I want to try to light it.
Okay, so you make it glow with the power of light.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. All right. Done.
Awesome.
You have a glowing. What do they call them? Bath stop, water stopper.
Plug,
Bath plug?
drain. I don't know now. You say it. Plug, water plug, tub plug.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nope, not a butt plug. What am I thinking of? I can't think of the name. There's a word for it. Can't think of it. Anyway, I lit one up is the important thing. So I have a little vision now.
Okay. So there's light spilling throughout the room.
I'm gonna just whisper to everybody and say, there's people basically right outside the door. I'm not sure we're going to get a stealthy approach to this. I think we're gonna have to be a bit more direct.
You mean just burst through?
In a manner of speaking. And I'm gonna turn around and throw open the door and loudly proclaim, your reinforcements have arrived.
Oh my lord.
Okay, so so we have to stop it there because I think Kyle missed the memo that we're all back, so he hasn't been listening
Oh,
this whole
no.
time. So let's just
No. We'll make it part of the lore. I'm drinking my keg in the corner.
Okay, sure. So you've just teleported into a clean room, very clean. It's full of mops and brooms and brushes and stones.
It's
Nash
literally
found-
clean.
It's the cleanest thing. Nash got a bath plug and made a light stone from it, so it's glowing, but it's like a bath stopper. And now the plan is that Stanley is just there's people outside the door that are talking, and he doesn't think we can sneak by, so he's just going to burst through the door and say hello. That's where we're at. Okay, so you're just going to keep drinking? No opinion on any of this?
No, he's done the action. I'm in the corner drinking.
Perfect. So can you do the flourish again, please? Stanley?
Yeah, I throw open the door and come walking straight out, arms open wide. Your reinforcements have arrived.
Okay. And as you open the door and you say this, you see that there's a table right outside the door, and there are two heavily armored paladins playing some kind of card game on the table. And in the distance, you notice that there's a circle of what looks to be like maybe priests, like tower staff, sort of huddled in a circle praying. farther in the background, and you say this, and they both look at you and they go, "By Euphemius, who is that? Halt! Where you are? What are you doing in here?"
Well, greetings there, fellow followers of Euphemius. My name is Stanley Billings, and I come to you at a time of great need and dire importance, along with my comrades, sent by... Oh, what was his name? Not the dude we stole the thing from, the dude that nothing
Stevius
kidnapped.
Rentley or the doc?
Who's the one that nothing kidnapped?
Stevius Rentley.
Sent by Stevius Rentley to assist you in this great time of need.
Okay, deception roll, please.
That's a natural 20, so with the
shit.
deception modifier, that's going to make it a 33.
33.
Wow.
Jeez.
The paladins look at each other, they look at you, and they go, "You don't look very much like a normal paladin, or a follower of Euphemius. You're very worldly looking."
Well, naturally. Look, there are always going to be followers of Euphemius that are going to have to doctor themselves up and represent in his prime, glorious form and stand there as a beacon to others around them. But sometimes a more subtle touch is needed. If we are going to best our enemies, we have to be able to strike from all sides, not just straight ahead, but from around and possibly even behind.
All right, so one of the paladins, who's red-haired, look, he snaps his hands together, points at you, and he goes, "Well spoken." And then another hooded, sort of smaller framed person walks up, and you can see his face. He's warts, a lot of acne, and he goes, "Sirs, why do you interrogate what is clearly a reinforcement sent here to help us? We welcome you, Sir Stanley Billings."
Oh, thank you, and don't fret none about them questioning. I would be very curious about a bunch of strangers falling out of my cleaning closet as well. Unfortunately, it was the only means to get through the hordes outside, as I'm sure you're no doubt aware.
You use teleportation magic. You teleshooted in.
We did. You've heard.
Brilliant. Amazing. I've always wanted to try an operation where teleshooting was involved, but it's never come up.
Well,
Splendid.
we have a 75% success rate, as it turns out. Let me gather the others. Nash, Vorel, come on out and meet our new allies, our champions here.
I'll swoop up with some flourish and say, "Nash Maggard of the Solar Mines." I'm going to totally play along.
It's good to meet you. Well met, sir.
The pleasure is mine, and I'll bow deeply.
Where's your armor?
My sharp mind and my wits are my armor, sir.
Well, and so there's a black-haired one and a paladin, and there's an orange-haired paladin. They both are wearing the same suits of armor, very white, very opulent, has the symbol of Euphemius on it, which is a fist pointed to the sun. And the red-haired one takes your hand and says, "I'm Sir Clotchup. Nice to meet you. We will be brothers fighting today. And this here is Sir Samson. Hello there, I'm Sir Samson. We are very glad to have you fighting by our side. But the one thing we will say is that we're holed up here without any combat to do, so we've been playing cribbage. Would you care to join in?"
Oh, that's a very fine offer. Where's Vorel? Where's our third? Vorel?
Just
You just hear gulping from the other room.
He's indisposed. Predisposed.
Well, you see, our third is the mightiest, the largest, the most powerful lizard folk I have ever encountered on this whole wide world, but he's not a big fan of heights. And so he has been, we'll say, imbibing the liquid courage and is getting it together at the moment.
Well, one can understand that. It's not every day a mortal has to fend off the hordes of hell from the White Tower. But if he's going to be a problem, you let us know.
Oh, he won't be a problem. He's very likable, very personable, loves people.
Sir Varel, come and meet us. We're anxious to meet the reinforcements that Stevie has sent. Only 3 reinforcements. That must mean you are all very powerful.
Well, we had a 4th. I'm not entirely sure why they haven't turned up yet, but you know the nature of magic from time to time. Sometimes a little less reliable than
What do you
that
mean?
of faith.
Your 4th hasn't shown up yet. How is he out? Is he outside?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
How did you teleshoot it in?
Yes.
All 4 of you.
Well, yes, but the 4th does not seem to have arrived, so...
Right, but what method of teleportation did you use?
Oh, we each had a scroll of dimension door to use to get in.
And does that require any special? Do you have to be touching the people you bring in? Is the door permanent? We don't know that much about the magics of wizarding ways, but
Well, we were told that we would read it and we would go through, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am very excited to see my brethren and be able to offer support, but I must admit I do have a great deal of concern that maybe something happened before our 4th could read those words.
You cast a spell on her then. She was to be teleported in and never made it in.
Yes, I'm worried perhaps maybe she let go, maybe she drifted too far, maybe I did something wrong. I'm not entirely sure.
Sir Samson, with black hair, walks up towards you in his full suit of armor, puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Sir, I've got some bad news for you. There is a ward which protects this tower. It rejects and pulverizes those of an evil heart. And perhaps you did not know your friend as well as you think you did."
I mean, surely that wouldn't be the case. She has saved a world before, an entire planet.
There are some people who are so evil that the good deeds they do, saving legions upon legions, does not balance out the wickedness of their heart. You cannot buy goodness. You understand? You cannot murder someone, yes, and then save a universe and still expect that your evil deed is expunged upon the final tally of your goodness. She is lost. The tower rejected her.
Is there a means to get to the top of the tower to verify?
We cannot unbreak the seal. Yes, we are surrounded right now by the hordes of hell and the hordes of the abyss, and we dare not open up even a pinhole in this tower.
Of course.
Or else all will be lost. Your friend is dead, I'm sorry to say. Most likely.
That is unfortunate. Hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully this is something else has happened.
Okay, and just as you say that, hopefully something else has happened, Hope appears in the room with you guys.
Ah!
And then Sir Samson, Sir Clutchup pull out their giant greatswords. Shing! A tiefling!
Hold!
She means to stop. Attack!
Hold!
Okay.
This is our 4th ally.
Ability roll, please. We need to get them to hold. Persuasion.
It's going to be a 15.
Okay, they bring their swords up, and they have it like pointed towards Hope, and one moves around to the backside of Hope, and one is in front of Hope as they get into position to cut her down. They move ever so slowly.
Look, this is
How
our
did the chief-
fourth.
This tiefling is your fourth. A tiefling? A tiefling. A race of people whose parents bedded with demons to make a full people of demons. This is your force for good. And
I do
Walnut's-
not believe in judging someone on what their parents have done. I know Hope to be a honorable and good individual who, as I said before, helped save the world.
Don't be naive. This isn't about individuals. Some races are innately evil. No matter how good they are, their genetics, they're predisposed to be evil no matter what.
She is heavy with child. And I stand up with a swagger. A divine child.
I think this is a good time to take a break. This is a cliffhanger for me.
Man.
Perfect.
I'm looking forward to finding out what the story is going to be from Kyle. We're going to make everyone wait.
All right. Fair enough.
This is a reverse cliffhanger. This is where the DM is cliffhangered.
Yeah, we got a little cliffhanger going. So come back in a minute. 5 minutes, everybody. Go do what you got to do. We'll be back in a second for more. There will be dungeons. See you in a minute.